All right, my name is Sunny Aigbe. Welcome to A Boy and His Dream podcast, episode number 7. Bro, it's been a minute now. It's been a minute. We have 2 special guests in the house today. I'm talking about amazing people in Chicago who are making things happening. I have Michael on my right, and I have Jay on my left. I'm going to bring them into the camera to introduce themselves and what they do. All right, Michael, tell us much about yourself and what you do. And what do you do? Who are you?
Sonny, I try to ask myself that every day.
Wow.
I appreciate you having us on here. My name is Mike Gemma. I'm the director of operations for Haymarket Beer Company. Mm-hmm. I've been with the company since its iteration back in 2010. So we've been about to celebrate 12 years here in the West Loop. Not too far. We're right down the street from the studio here. And the goal has always been to kick out some really delicious beer and serve the community.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, when you talk about beer, we're talking about what I'm drinking right now.
Absolutely.
Cheers, my brother. Cheers, my brother. Cheers.
Cheers, homies.
Delicious. All right, then on my left, I'm talking about a man himself. I'm talking about Jay himself. Black Warrior. What's going on with you?
Hey, I'm Jay Westbrook, aka the Black Beer Baron. I've been brewing beer for about 3 years now. I've been in the service industry for about 5. I love my city.
That's what
I love my
about.
people. Mm-hmm. I love all you people.
Passion.
And I want to put on for people because where I am in life is, I can tell stories about my city and, kind of expound upon, the upbringing that I was provided, but also put on for the next generation. We're talking about generational, not wealth, but also knowledge. And that's important to me. So I'm always going to be passionate about Chicago and tell stories about Chicago.
I love that. Thank you so much. Dude, he's full of passion, man. Dude,
Yes,
oh
he
my
is.
God, you're on fire. All right. Hold that fire. Don't put it off.
I'm
Hold
chilling.
the
I
fire.
swear, I am Mr. In the Cut chilling all the time.
We're going to need
All the
that
time.
fire. We're going to need it. Oh, anyway, hello, Chicago. We are here for the sake of unity, empowerment, and respect for humanity, and respect for this city that's so beautiful that everybody loves. And respect for our small businesses, and respect for our youth, respect for our indifference. It's so amazing. It feels so good to be able to just unite and be able to work together as one. You inspire me, man. You just look at your creativity. So let's take it back to the roots and see how we can carefully just discuss about what's happening in our city, how we positioned, and then what can we do to move past the current situation we are right now. You understand everyone is scared of everyone, uprising and no peace and stuff like that. We're all looking for one solution. We're looking for one thing, solution. Yet we are not willing to do what it takes to be able to get the solution. We know what it is. It's called unity, working together, respect, holding people accountable for the negative act that they're doing, and not blaming anyone but ourselves for the things that are not working. In your own opinion, I don't want to speak for. I don't want to speak for you. I want you to speak for yourself. What are your perspective about the change that we're looking for? What's your perspective?
No, I share that sentiment. I do believe that there's a long road ahead, and it will take everybody's participation towards unity. Towards everybody's. It's not there's no ability to stand on the sideline and continue to talk about things needing to change when you're not willing to participate yourself.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You just heal it. You don't think the problem belongs to the mayor of the city?
It belongs to everybody. If you choose to live here, if you choose to participate in what this city brings, you have that responsibility. You have to be an active participant. Otherwise, what are you doing? It's that important to be an active participant.
So you're thinking that the solving it starts right now, and it takes me and you.
Every day. And it's choosing it every day.
Oh, wow. Embracing it.
It's choosing it every day.
Wow.
You can't take a break from it.
No, there are not going to be any days off provided from accountability. And it ain't just the mayor. It ain't just like everybody is accountable and should be held accountable for the current state of being, because without the next man and the next man and the next human, where the hell are we going? What's our direction? And I really feel like we've kind of lost our way in figuring out where we're going as a society. And, you know, there are generational issues, there are systemic issues, and we could talk about that all damn day long. But the reality is, if you are not willing to hold the next human accountable as well as yourself, we're going to be stuck where we're stuck.
Accountability. It's the key source right here.
Big accountable.
So you think that if someone else has enabled me to do negative act and no one held me accountable for it, someone else is going to see that as a leverage. I want to do it. And that repeats itself. We will have no city. Well, you're talking about holding men accountable, and you understand. Look, let's just call it spade a spade. You know, the problem we have in the city right now is crime. The crime rate is really high. You know, we're looking about homicide rates about 751 this year. You know, and the crime rate is increased by 58%. I mean, that's ridiculously outrageous. I mean, that's crazy. It scares me. And I'm sure it's scaring everyone. And most of the kids I see on communities crime are my people, our children, our youth.
Sonny,
what can we do to stop that?
Here's the thing about my city.
Yes.
You know, I love my city. I'm
Yes,
very
sir.
proud of my city. Good, bad, or ugly, you will never disparage my city. But something that we've kind of created with Harold's 83 Honey is a partnership with the North Lawndale Employment Network via their Be Love line and their Sweet Beginnings line, which actually reassimilates ex-offenders back into the community, like literal parolees, like teaching them certain life and job skills. Like, we found out via my co-collaborator Sam Ross that they were teaching these people fresh out of the Bing, fresh out of prison, how to maintain an apiary and become beekeepers. And so we wanted to use something that was so beautiful that these people had created
I thought that was what
to create something.
I thought that was what they were already teaching them in the prison. You mean there's no program?
No, fresh out of prison, like literal parolees.
Wow.
And they're maintaining an apiary, and they're being taught these things. And what Jessica Butler and the rest of the team have created over there, like, that's what we talk about when we talk about being invested in Chicago and actually giving a fuck about being in my city and living in my city. One thing I will not allow for is for people in their ivory towers to disparage the things that are going on in these streets, because I'm walking these streets every day.
And the street is what's creating the problem right now. The street needs to be taken care of. Those people.
The problem is systemic issues, not necessarily the streets themselves. The streets are just dealing with the reality that they're dealt.
What can we do to solve that? I mean,
Help people and understand that we don't get to wag our fingers and judge people. That's important. If you want to get involved, be involved. But if you want to just sit here and say, "What about Chicago?" I'm not going to allow for that. I will absolutely destroy your shit.
Okay, that takes me down to the youth. See, dude, I said you are passionate. Please do not put off the fire. Keep it burning, because I'm going to need it. You know, we also understand that if you're going to get to the grassroots of the problem, focus on the youth, right?
Exactly.
The youth are hungry. They need to be directed. They need to be motivated. They need to be placed in the high places, good places.
Right.
They need to be supported. What do you think we should be doing? What is your company doing? And I heard your company is very involved in the community. What have you guys done in the past to support this youth so that we can, even if we save 1 hour 100,
Right.
that's a progress right there. That's a problem solved.
Absolutely.
All right, that's one kid that's not going to prison, that's not being placed in the system because you care. What have you done, and what message you have to other companies out there who doesn't care? I mean, talk to us.
As it pertains to companies that don't care, that's a real travesty, because there's an inherent responsibility when you start a company to the community that supports you. So if you don't recognize that, if you don't acknowledge that level of responsibility as you as a business owner have within your community, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And to that end, I do feel like when you listen to your fan base, when you listen to your community, they will tell you what is most needed, what is highest on their priority list of trying to correct issues that they see. I truly believe what we have done decently, and we can always be better at it, is to listen to the various groups and recognize what they're going through, to truly just listen.
When you
first and
mean
foremost.
who are you again? Your
Our company, a Haymarket Beer Company.
Okay, cool.
We have such a diverse base of fans in our community, and we recognize that even within our own industry, it isn't necessarily representative of those that consume our beer and our product and enjoy the space that we have created at Randolph and Halstead. And when Jay and I were put in the same room together by a mutual friend and we just started chatting and getting to know one another, there is that reality where when you walk into a bar or a restaurant, it doesn't always look like the person walking in trying to sit at the bar. And with that reality, you see an opportunity and you get to listen, but then create and allow for collaboration to take you down a path that would otherwise not have been there if you just dismissed or you just saw them walking in and saying, great, another customer. It's not about that. It's in the engagement and creating a safe and welcoming environment where they might not be telling you flat out, like, no, I'm only going to stay for one. I don't feel comfortable here. Don't settle for that. Settle for having the engagement, hearing their story and hearing what's important to them so that you can then help and create that space for them and for others. You know, we've worked on a number of different projects. I don't even know where to begin, really.
We talk about it all the time and how although beer is the baseline and what got us here, it's so much deeper than beer. We're talking about
what's involved.
We're talking about being purpose driven. We're talking about, you know, having a level of philanthropy. We're also talking about, again,
by the way,
city's history.
That's Jay right here.
Hey, I'm Jay. Hi, friends.
Yeah, what's going on?
Can't see me behind the mic, but it's cool. I'm ugly.
It's for a reason. So
but yeah, like it's like beer is what got us to this point. Like literally, beer is what has us in this room. But it's also about, again, being purpose driven, being sincere, being deliberate in your actions. I will never do things just to do them. There has to be a deeper meaning, a deeper purpose behind what it is that I'm giving you guys in beer form, you know? And so, like, just coming up the way I came up, and I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and, you know, my life wasn't that fucked up. My mom and dad did well for me, middle class, whatever. Grew up around a bunch of BS, but, you know, I was never legitimately involved in that BS.
Indirectly.
For any blue shirts that might be watching, it is what it's gonna be. But I never got caught, and it's fine.
We've all done it.
But that's not the life I live. But you know, like I understand what it's like to not have all of these things, and I want to kind of using beer as the conduit, kind of just let people know that there's a space for us, you and me, Sonny. Mike Gemma's already in the game and has been in the game, and he's told you about that skin he has in the game. But it's people that look like us, people that look like her, that don't think that
they belong,
don't think that they have any way into the beer game.
But this is the reason why we are here today to talk about that and say just because you've been told that you don't belong doesn't mean that you have to feel like you don't belong.
No.
The best way to try a putty is to try it out. If you want to know the taste, try a putty. You will feel the taste. I came from Nigeria. All right, I have a lot of when I came in to start my business here, health and wellness. I had a lot of rejection. I said a girl would not even ride on the elevator with me because of how I look, and I don't know what scares her. I don't know what she heard, and don't blame her. She must have been through. Witness something. You cannot blame people because of how they react. They've been traumatized based on something. You can't judge them. Just get to know people. Guess what? The moment she saw me on TV, she saw me the next time. Was that you I saw on TV? I said, yes. That was it. Now she automatically became my friend. You have to
now you recognize that Sonny is a star. Now you get it.
So that is a problem. So I think we give people benefit of doubt, and people need to give us benefit of doubt. We need to cherish one another, whether you're black, Hispanic, brown. I don't care. As long as you're a good person, you want to do good business, you want to bring value to the community and to the people, I'm ready to sit and talk with you. If we, amongst ourselves, we black, we all have our own problem. We don't even like each other.
And we're going to have
we're going to have differences. White folks have their own problems.
This is how humanity is structured.
We all have our stories. It's how you're telling the story to better yourself and the community is all that matter. As long as you're not creating violence for someone else to stop paying people to promote violence, for you to start softening my people up just because you need a vote, that's what I have a problem with. You understand? Encourage my people to go to college, to create, to do business, to have economic growth, empower them by encouraging them to self-sustainable and help them to create. That's what I'm saying. And who are you supposed to focus on? The youth. And who are you killing now? The youth. Who is the generation? The youth. They know the target, you know? And what can we do to take this message to the youth is to start involving. Like you said, get involved.
Get involved, absolutely.
Priority. Mentor these children. If you catch them young, you can catch them, grown up. You can follow them. You can track their growth and help them become the man that you want them to be. But if you're not a man, how can you even think of mentoring? First of all, you have to be what you want others to be. We don't have men anymore. How can we convert that?
Oh, we have
what
men,
can we do?
But what we've become as a society is so selfish and so
is that what it is?
Self-serving, in my opinion. Again, my opinion, your mileage may vary. But it's like, I know I had an opportunity that was provided to me by a mutual friend as well as Haymarket, and I took advantage of that. And I started to craft these stories and started to work with these grassroots organizations like the homies over at Lost Boys. Shout to Levante and all the coaches over there. And they keep kids off the streets by getting them involved with the game of baseball. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we came up with the Summer of 54 project, which was spearheaded by my...
Yeah, right there?
Yep, Summer of 54.
We should get you a little bit here.
Bro,
you got to try this.
Get me a little bit,
as
man.
he's pouring, I'm going to talk about it. So a friend of mine, Shakia Taylor, who is a very dope individual in and of herself and just keeps me motivated, she called me one night and she was like, I want to write a story about Ernie Banks and Manny Minoso and you should brew a beer about it. And like before the episode of SVU that I had been watching was over, I had bullet point after bullet point. And I live I live in the South Shore neighborhood. Y'all don't need to know where the fuck I live because they ain't none of your goddamn business.
I love his attitude, man.
But there was an organization that was based literally down the street from me called Lost Boys Inc. And again, they keep kids off the street by getting them involved with the game of baseball and softball. And before we had even brewed this beer, we had raised over $40,000 to send that whole organization down to the Negro League Baseball Museum down in Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri. But yeah, it's like things like that. Like, get involved. You can talk about it, but when in the hell are you gonna be about it? And I'm just insanely blessed to be around people who believe in that mantra and believe in the same things that I believe in and believe in the city and the good that we can do in the city because I know what the nation says about Chicago.
Amen.
That shit is trash.
What he's saying right now, if you want
real.
to see the change that you want, get involved, mentor a kid. add value. Don't just point finger and just list the problem without trying to be the solution. The problem that we have right now is not officially the problem of the mayor of the city or the city's problem. The problem belongs to us, like you said, Michael. The problem belongs to us. We have to get involved. It's our problem.
Yeah.
So if you cannot get involved, that's all right. But we have work on our hand. We have city to protect.
And I think a lot of it has to do with those individuals who feel helpless to get started in helping out.
How can we get to that?
How do you get the confidence or find opportunities in which to get involved to try and make that positive change? And I guess for us, we utilize the tools that we've got at our disposal. Right? So for us, a beer company, you wouldn't think necessarily is going to be able to go out there and start radically changing these things, except for the fact that it's incremental, right? It is a little bit at a time, and you do what you can. So even starting within our own space, within the craft beer community, recognizing that there are less than 1% companies owned by African Americans, less than 1% of African American brewers in this country, when we're almost at 10,000 breweries in this country. You look at that and you realize that you do have tools. You do have the voice and the ability to start changing that.
How can they find the tools? They're so scared. They believe that no one is ever going to believe in that. So they've been told. What should they do? What do you want them to do? How did they get this tool?
To show that there's opportunity that you otherwise would not have considered. So somebody who looks at the craft beer industry thinking that it all looks like me and
I'm
guys with larger beards and exactly and the flannel shirts and everything else.
Because you don't look at him, you look at me.
Oh.
You look at me. Because that's what I'm here to do. I'm 41 years old. I'm good on, the life I've lived so far, but just know that people that look like you and I, and again, her, have a space in this industry, and it doesn't have to just be involved with the actual brewing of beer. We can be graphic designers. We can be, we can be glass blowers. We can be all of these things.
So you saying that we all need to get up wherever our comfort zone and come out and be the competition. Come out and challenge yourself.
Create your own lane. Create your own lane.
But how about the attitude problem, bro? How about the positioning? Sometimes the attitude is so scary, man.
The attitude is not a negative thing because, Sonny, you're looking me in my eye right now, and you see that I'm giving off that energy.
But
I'm one of them guys.
So sexy
I'm one of them guys,
attitude,
but I also present nothing but love and respect in my heart. And as long as you have love, respect, and reverence for the next human being, there's no limit to how far you can go.
That's a great attitude. How about
I'll kick your ass, but I don't want to. Love it. I'd rather just have a beer and a good conversation and just be this, and be this beacon of fellowship. It's all about the fellowship, and that's one thing that craft beer taught me from the day I walked in the door. It was all about the fellowship. Like I talk about diversion and diversity and inclusion in craft beer. When in reality, nobody's really disrespecting me as it pertains to craft beer. Probably because I'm 6 feet and 260 pounds.
But about to knock me out.
But everybody's been peace and love to me. So how can I not pay that energy for it?
Amen.
How can I not pay that energy?
And we're talking about diversity and inclusion, and this is what we're talking about,
absolutely.
Right here. When we all can come together.
It's always going to be love.
Amen. Who is on the camera right there? She doesn't look like me. My executive director does not look like me. Yet she gave me the opportunity for me to be able to bring my story to life. She said, he said, dude, your story is so powerful. I'm going to give you the opportunity. And he did. I believe the God that placed that in his heart to do it for me is the same God that will place it in someone else's heart to do it for someone else's. But you have to position yourself to the extent that so that you can be discovered. Be at peace. Be approachable. You know,
Exactly.
be approachable, be knowledgeable, have the skill set that you need so that when the opportunity comes, you will take it. Don't just be out there floating around thinking that
And
I'm
then
going
once
to be.
that opportunity comes, be grateful.
Exactly.
And be
grateful,
willing
then
to
give
pay it
back.
forward.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Exactly. And then shout out. I want to give shout out to all our people out there doing the right thing. All the artists who are not buying the chain and looking heavy in the neck. Meanwhile, your communities are dying. So spend all that money that you invest in that chain, spending it into investing on a child. So that youth needs to be like you. So sell those chain and give back to the community. And for for my for my Caucasian family who cares about others, God bless you guys, man. We need just go ahead, chip it in.
I have a question.
Go talk to me.
Am I not allowed to have one gold chain?
No, one is good.
Just one.
One is good, but it's not heavy
Because
enough.
that's a symbol of strength for me.
Strength is good. The one is good, but there are chains though. I'm talking about like $1,000. I mean, 1,000 pound heavy
That's
chain
not
on the
where
neck.
your priorities should lie. I'm not
Exactly.
telling anybody how to live their
Yeah,
life.
I'm not judging, but I'm just, it's a
But,
perspective. It's an idea,
It's okay to want
Yeah.
and have nice things, but just know that's not where priorities lie.
True to God.
Especially with me.
True to God, I swear to God, just using myself, seeing myself where I am right now, where I'm coming from, being born out with luck, not even know where my next meal was coming from, and somebody gave me the opportunity to become who I am today. I believe that all of us who are successful there can give a child the opportunity.
Absolutely.
That's what, a boy, his dream is doing right now. Just getting involved, mentoring, encouraging kids to do well, stay in the season, learn. At some point, the right help will come. That's what it is. And once that comes, that's going to make a difference. You will be changed, How can we find your business online?
Go to haymarketbeer.com. You can find us on Instagram, any of the social media platforms at Haymarket Beer. I'll speak to him as well.
Jay.
Follow the Black Beer Baron on social media as well.
Black Beer Baron on Instagram. I have, at last count, 6 or 7 beers on tap at 737 West Randolph. Also, a bunch of collaborations with the homies from Moores and 18th Street and Black Horizon and Turner House and Funky Town. And these are all people that look like us, Sonny, and they're putting in work. Like, one thing about us is that I realize that we're unicorns. We're in a space that normally isn't welcome to us.
Amen.
Right?
Yes.
Like, why I speak to my friend Sidney Jones, who's the head distiller up at Few Spirits in Evanston. It's like I recognize what we bring to the table. What we bring to the table is authenticity. Like, everything isn't just mass-produced and generic.
Amen.
Like, it's real.
Yeah.
And I want that realness to continue because you're real.
Amen.
I'm real. But when I say that to you, that's not being dismissive of the fact that Mike Gemma is real as well.
He's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. That's why I'm drinking your beer, bro. If I don't think you're real, I would not be.
I made that beer. What's wrong with you? That's my beer.
But who cares who made it?
My name is on the can.
It's a beginning point, right? It's a beginning point. To
Everything
share
has
good
to have a nexus,
food,
correct?
I appreciate it.
To be able to share good food, good drink, that's the beginning. To come down at the same table, to start a conversation, to start to talk about what we really are passionate about and what needs to change. Starts right here. This is that leveler.
That collaborative effort is what's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you see, look out for him. He looks out for you.
Always.
Home team right here.
Always.
This is family right here.
I talked
my
about
brother.
you making the beer. You're like, no, he made it. You didn't take the credit.
No,
You
he
be
made
his
it.
voice. He be your voice. That's what we're talking about.
He gave me the soapbox to stand on in which to talk about these things.
One of those
And for
tools that I
I'm
have at
forever
my
grateful.
disposal that I
And
am
again, I
happy
love
to
you.
share.
I love you.
Happy to share.
And that
Love you
tells
too.
me. That tells me that it is possible for us to do things differently.
Absolutely.
It is possible to continue to encourage that opportunity to the youth out there who think that it's not possible to come to downtown and do business. And for that reason, they want to tear it down because they don't think it's possible. It is possible. Don't tear it down. Be part of it. All right, Michael. All right. We're actually focusing on the Hero 83 honey. Can you tell us how this thing was developed?
Sure.
What is it? How was it created?
Well, the story of creation on that actually begins with a mutual friend of Jay's and mine. Back in the end of 2019, we were put into the same room once we had heard of the Brewers Association, the largest trade organization for our industry of craft beer brewers in the country. They're based out of Denver, Colorado, and they put out a benchmark study on ownership groups and what that breakdown looked like. And we found that there were less than 1% ownership of craft breweries by African Americans in this industry.
1%.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
Facts.
That's
And
a
the fact that
lean
they're
margin. So lean.
very,
Very lean.
which
Slim.
along with that, there was our mutual friend who attends many city hall meetings, and there was another gentleman there who got up to speak on a particular topic and threw out a statistic that less than a dozen liquor store licensees were owned by African Americans as well in the city of Chicago, which is pretty astronomical when you think about how many liquor licenses there are in this city.
lot.
And how many
And-
of them are in the hood where
Exactly.
most of us live?
A lot.
So we kind of raised an eyebrow with that and started doing a little digging, a little research, and come to find out it's not too far off that number. So when we got into the same room together and we started learning about one another and hearing what his aspirations were, he immediately said, "Hey, I just want to make good beer and support my community." Mm-hmm. But this particular project can't do it without my brother Sam Ross, and that's how the two of them kind of came to this project. And when they told us that they wanted to do a honey ale, I'm going to turn it over to him to continue the story, but we said absolutely.
So Sam Ross is just such a fascinating human being. Like, he's just insanely dope, insanely creative. And I had just met him like a couple months back, and he kind of alluded to the fact that he wanted to make beer. And so did I. So when this opportunity came to me, like, Sam was literally the first human that was on my list. And he came to me with, again, the North Lawndale Employment Network and the Sweet Beginnings program and their Be-Love honey line. And he was like, man, they're pulling people fresh out of prison and teaching them how to be beekeepers. And we should use their honey, and we should make honey ale. Wow. That's exactly how we should make honey ale. I ain't gonna tell Sam no, and Haymarket didn't tell us no.
Absolutely. So if you look at the can there, Sonny, on the side it has a tagline actually that was
On this side right there?
Right
yeah,
there.
right over
The
here.
other left. There you go.
Read it out for us.
Oh, you don't have the seat at the table, create your own.
When
you
don't
don't have the seat
you create your
at
own.
the table, you create your own.
This
Feels
is the
like
deliverance
me.
and the sincerity that I'm talking.
So
This
this
is what we're
beer,
doing.
this beer, given all the depth of layers to the story and how it came to be, that's what it's all about. It is creating awareness and giving strength to those who understand that, you know what, this industry may not necessarily look like me, but it's for me too.
You know what, though? This is so powerful.
That was actually written by my good friend Evan F. Moore, formerly of the Chicago Sun-Times, but now the press secretary for the Chicago Public Schools, because that's what it is. It's like, no matter what you do and how you do it, be dope, be sincere, be deliberate, but also be willing to give back and reach down and pull up.
When you don't have a seat at the table, create your own. This is my strength. And this is going to be the topic. This is our slogan on this episode. This
There it
is
is.
it. And I'm going to close this episode with this quote. And who's the original creator of this quote?
Evan F. Moore.
Evan F. Moore said, when you don't have a seat at the table, create your own. Yes, you can. Have a great day, everyone, man. Blessings.